As we walked through the enchanting surroundings of Purana Killa, we were lucky enough to interview the renowned historian Mr. Sohail Hashmi, who shared his valuable insights regarding India's rich culture and heritage with us, and he told us how we can preserve every inch and every corner of it.
Serious. But I'm not a heritage keeper, you know. So, you see, it's a long story, but I was running a creative activity center for children who used to come to us after school to be creatively engaged. And I started doing a loose structured course with kids called My World. And I realized that these kids have a lot of knowledge which is there in their courses. For example, all of them knew that a butterfly lays eggs and the eggs hatch and the caterpillar comes and then it eats, it grows and it turns into a pupa and it flies. But it did not excite them because they had never seen a caterpillar. So I took them out hunting for caterpillars. And we kept them in shoe boxes and fed them leaves for weeks till they turned into pupa, and after 5-7 days they burst out. So I was doing these kind of things, and while talking to these kids I realized that they are growing up in the city but they know nothing of the city. Because they get up in the morning, get ready, eat something, go to school, come back. There's nobody at home, both parents work. The key is with somebody, or it's hidden under a flower pot somewhere. They take it out, open the door, and then the mother calls. Bete, so such and such is kept in the fridge, take it out, heat it up in the micro. Please, bete, switch off the micro. Then 10 minutes later, have you eaten? Okay, now rest for some time, I'll call you half an hour later. Then she'll call and say, do your homework. You know, this is the life of the kids, and they are all latch and key kids. They don't step out of the house. Then one of the parents returns, they will be escorted to the local garden where they play for half an hour of supervised games, and then they come back home, finish their homework everywhere. In the summer vacation, if the parents can afford it, they go to Hong Kong. If they can't afford it, or they are not getting chutti, they go to meet grandparents. This is how the life of these kids. So then I started doing this. Every second Saturday, I'll take them out to one part of it. I'll bring them here, I'll take them to Sanjay Park, somewhere. So gradually introduce them to this. So that is how it started. Then the kids went and told their parents. So then I got a delegation of parents. हमें भी दिल्ली दिखाइए. I said, all right. And so I started doing this. But I said, you know, you don't come with your kids. Because with the kids, I'm dealing at a totally different level. With the adults, you know, the entire focus shifts. One of the parents was with NDT. So she went and talked with NDTV. Then they did a breakfast show. And this Time Out magazine started featuring my walks. So then word just spread. So once I started doing it, then you read up more about these things and all that. I was introduced to Delhi by my father, who among other things also dabbled in archaeology. He set up the Archaeology Museum of Aligarh Muslim University. He went on 2-3 major excavations. So he showed us the 7 Delhis in chronological order and showed us how the arch gradually evolved, how the dome evolved, how shifting of the building material also helped in changing the shape of building, etc. So some of that had stayed with me. And then suddenly I realized there are a lot of people in Delhi who haven't seen Delhi and would like to see it.
Sir, like you mentioned, these days a lot of people, especially younger, especially the younger generation, haven't really even seen Delhi, despite living in this city.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Partly it is the way our school curriculum are run. There is no space for children to go out and do this. You know, I don't understand when they are being taught Mughal history or the Sultanate period, why can't they be taken to these sites and introduced, you know, many of these places, and some places you can also connect to actual events and history, and this will connect them to. So school में क्या होता है? Well, there was this girl who used to come to me to my center, who eventually joined Ashoka and was doing history there. So she one day we were just sitting and saying, "Chalo kahin घूमने चलते हैं." So some kid said, "Let's go to चिड़ियाघर." She said, "मैं नहीं जाऊँगी." I'll not go to चिड़ियाघर. मैंने कहा क्या होगा? बहुत अच्छी जगह है. She said, I was in nursery A, I was taken there. Nursery B, I was taken there. Class 1, I was taken there. For last 7 years, every year I'm taken to the. I'm not going to do. You know. So ये स्कूल का करिकुलम हो जाता है. एक आउटिंग करनी है, चलो बच्चों को चिड़ियाघर ले जाओ. You know. So this is because of that, and the way we teach history turns people against history, because it's an endless list of names. Yesterday we had a meeting in the memory of Professor Nurul Hasan, who actually changed the entire approach to history in this country. So many of his students were there and some of his colleagues were there. And one of them was saying that, you know, when he had gone to meet him about something, so Professor Nurul Hasan said, look, it is the same history. Just the name of the king changes. He came to the throne in so-and-so, he had a war with so-and-so, he lost or he defeated him, then he ruled for these times, these were his problems, that is how he solved them, in this year he died. This is the end of the Sultanate, of the Khilji period. Then comes the Tughlaq period. The founder of the Tughlaq dynasty is Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. You know. So it is Professor Nurul Hasan who opened up history. That there is cultural history, there is social history, there is economic history, there is history of women, the history of crafts, history of technology. All these disciplines were introduced into history. But in our school curriculum, things are so.
What do you think can do to preserve the slowly fading heritage of India, especially Delhi NCR? For example, we have a population of 1.5 billion people in India, and I don't think everyone knows about places like Sundar Nursery, Firoshka Kotla, Katputli Colony. So what can we exactly do to preserve that?
Well, is that I don't know about 1.5 billion people, but where we are, your educational institution, for example, you are in the university?
No,
School. So, if Shiv Nadar, I actually suggested it to somebody in Shiv Nadar. I knew somebody who was a faculty there. I don't know whether he's still there or retired. So I said the Shiv Nadar schools can adopt somebody. Look around, you know, even if it's just a step well or whatever nearby, and where your school then focuses their attention on children going there regularly. You can fix that class 7 will go in March first week, April first week, class 8 will go, all the sections on one day. And you announce, and you can actually work out an agreement with the Archaeological Survey of India that the Shiv Nadar school wants to adopt this, and we will keep this place clean. Number one, we will discourage people littering this place. and also shame them. You know, boo anybody who is throwing trash there. You know, whatever, and then make small teams and start studying that structure. The entire idea of step wells, why did they come? What is the advantage? What can we do with them now, etc., etc. And you can make, you know, you can do a study that lasts for an entire year. And you know, so this is an experiment that I had done with Bluebell School, where I started working with class 7 students, and then I worked with them for 3 years. So every once or twice or thrice as the opportunity came, I took them to a series of structures. Then next year to another series of structures. Next year another series of structures. And then they worked on them as projects. So those kind of things can be done, and then it will involve kids also. You know, then essentially it is that we need to own our heritage. This is our heritage. You know. So the moment you develop this sense of ownership, then people will stop neglecting this. And the best example of that is the Delhi Metro. People don't spit in it. People don't litter it. There are some who do it, but mostly people don't do it. वो lift में कर देते हैं, metro में नहीं करते. You know, they don't litter the metro. Mostly if somebody litters, somebody or the other will say, यहाँ कूड़ा मत फेंको. So it was because the people of Delhi have come to take pride in it. Similarly, they need to take pride in the heritage.
So what is the need and what role does it play in preserving heritage for the 21st century Indians or the Gen Z or our generation? What role does it play in our So what is the need and what role does it play in preserving heritage for the 21st century Indians or the Gen Z or our generation?